Well, tonight, VP Harris will hold a rally in Philadelphia to introduce formally her running mate to the nation.
According to multiple reports, there are 3 top finalists: Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly.
National political correspondent Alex Miller is in Philadelphia with more on the potential list of finalists and the week ahead for the Harris campaign. Good morning, Alex.
Well, good morning. We are expecting the vice presidential pick to come via video later this morning before the rally that is going to take place here in Philadelphia later this evening. Vice President Harris will appear with whoever her pick is going to be at Temple University. Look, this has been a very quick vetting process. It is typically something that goes on for months and months, and the presidential pick gets binders full of information, not only of the political history of these potential picks, but also the personal history of them and their family. They're asked very uncomfortable questions. The former Attorney General Eric Holder is the one who took this process on in such a condensed form. We know that Vice President Harris met with those 3 candidates that you mentioned over the weekend at the Naval Observatory, where she lives in Washington, D.C. Listen to what the former House Speaker had to say about how Harris should make her pick.
It's a question of who she feels the most comfort level with in terms of governance. People say, well, who can help us win? But it's about who can help us govern more than that.
And my sources match the reporting that we have seen, that it's really down to 2 major candidates: Governor Josh Shapiro from here in Pennsylvania and Governor Tim Walz from Minnesota. Mark Kelly is the 3rd one that was there for the interviews this weekend. But let's talk about Josh Shapiro. Pennsylvania is a must-win for Democrats and pretty much for Republicans, too. This is an incredibly important state. That's likely why he was on the radar in the first place. He's also an incredibly popular governor here, a 61% approval rating, virtually unheard of in today's politics. He's an avid supporter of abortion rights, of gun control reform. He's also just known to the community as somebody who is efficient. When I-95 broke down and needed to be repaired, he not only did it quickly, but voters point to the fact that he put up a camera so that they could see the progress. He's also very active on TikTok. He's young, he's Jewish. Those are things that some supporters think could help him with the more moderate wing of the party. He's also very supportive of Israel, similar, though, to the other candidates we've seen, but that is where we have seen a lot of the criticism from the more progressive wing of the party. They want to see Governor Tim Walz be picked as the pick. He's from Minnesota. They believe he might be able to appeal to the more rural voters. He's the dark horse right now. We hadn't heard a lot about him, but he has been that attack dog over the last couple of weeks that we know that many of the presidential picks want their vice president to be. He's also supportive of many of the rights that I mentioned from Governor Shapiro. So it's really a toss-up which wing of the party Harris is likely to go to. It'll be very indicative of how she intends to run her campaign, because typically we see the vice presidential ticket one that's going to balance out the views of the president, but it'll be interesting to see if that really is the case here. Whoever she picks is gonna have a very packed schedule, obviously till November, but specifically for the next week or so, we are expecting them to hit the trail, hit the ground running incredibly quickly with campaign stops over the next week. 6 states they're intending to hit. Obviously here first, Pennsylvania, the most important for the Democrats, likely why they picked this spot, regardless of whether the pick is Governor Shapiro or Tim Walz.
Also, though, potentially awkward if it's not Shapiro, but you're having your first big rally in his state. I'm just saying, and they've always said don't read too much in the fact that it's Philly, but it's hard.
Not?
It's a little, and I get that democracy probably is going to be the backdrop of the whole thing. But Alex, that is a little awkward if it's Walz and Shapiro's that are clapping along in his state and not the pick. But I mean, stranger things have happened in politics. But I mean, how are you reading the tea leaves?
You know, it's interesting because part of me thinks, yes, that's incredibly awkward, and no matter what happens, it will be awkward. But you could also see a scenario where they put Tim Walz on the stage and where he becomes the vice presidential pick, and they also have Governor Shapiro there kind of softening the blow a little bit for Pennsylvania voters, saying, I'm on board with this, I'm supportive of this. So it'll be interesting to see if Walz is the pick. Is Shapiro there? Is he giving a ringing endorsement, or is he kind of licking his wounds just a couple of miles away where he is in the suburbs right now, where he was playing basketball with his son last night?
A lot of political choreography today, always in this moment. And amazing that as we talk here at 8:11 Eastern time, there's been no announcement
right.
and no
we know
leak.
we know nothing.
And no one has broken the story on the day of the round. That's
I've just been refreshing
amazing.
all of my usual pages today. Like, okay, what's going on?
Fascinating day.
All right, Alex, thank you.